Okay, so to the leg locks. So we've looked at the front ashy position, single leg X. We've also looked at the cross ashy, which is the saddle. Let's look at how we can transition effortlessly between those two control positions and when we would actually need to transition between them. So let's just say I'm in the front ashy position, this single leg X position with cane. Okay, we sort of briefly have covered this as we've gone through the mesocycle. How I can get into the saddle from here is I can lean back, drag the leg across, and then bring the foot that's on the hip to the inside. So I'm actually just, let's scoot this way, Ken. So I'm actually into the saddle, and then we looked at with Lewis last time how I'd be looking to get my left foot over my right. I'd find that secondary leg, then I'd bring it across over my knee line, and then split his legs. And then we have the ability to come up into combat base. And then from this position we can start to work the passes. Let's look at when I would need to transition into the saddle from single leg X. So from our position, later on in the mesocycle we're going to look at your basic Achilles lock from here. But let's just say I get into the single leg X position and I'm here. Okay. Common counter from this position to try and get a better position is Kane can post with one of his hands and use his other one to push my foot off the hip. And then he'll put his butt over. Let's go back again. So he's going to post with his right hand behind him, and he's going to use his left to push this down, but he keeps the weight on it because I just put it back up again. So once he pushes it down now, he lifts his butt over my foot. Perfect. Okay. So from that position, we want the ability to transition to the saddle, but I also want the ability to transition from the primary leg that I was attacking back into the secondary leg. So now I have single leg X on this leg again. So again, from that position, building on the skills that we have developed, I can lean back, pull this across, come up into the saddle, making sure my foot's over foot, pinching with my knees, finding the secondary leg, coming up, controlling the knee line, splitting the legs, and then from here I'm coming up, I have my wedge again, and I'm up into my passing position. So let's look at that again. Let me just set this side here. Here, perfect. So we're in our single leg X position. Here, our front ashy. Okay, so Kane's posting on his left hand, and then he's going to use his right hand to push my foot off, and then he's going to lift his butt over. Now again, if I'm still controlling this leg, let's just take it back. If I was here and trying to apply the Achilles, and the minute he finds my foot with his hand, I'm already letting go of my attempted Achilles and finding the secondary leg. So the minute he pushes that off and lifts his butt over, I'm already filling that space and hitting the single leg X on the other leg now. And then from here, if I want, I can lean back, pull it across, bring my other leg through as we sit up into the saddle, and I have the knee line. Okay, finding that secondary leg, bringing it across, and then coming up into my combat base position. But possibly as I'm doing this, we addressed last time one of the common problems with the saddle position is not controlling the knee line. So maybe I'm here, and as I'm coming up to try and either attack the legs with submissions that we look at later in the mesocycle, or Kane butt scoops back and I lose the knee line. Just move your butt back, perfect. He wants to get his left knee below my knee, may end up here. So I'm still coming up in the combat base. But if you've noticed, Kane's got his pulled out his left knee and it's actually behind my knee. So from my combat base position, I can switch into single leg X on the other leg now, and then we go through the whole transition again. So I'll either finish with the Achilles from here, or he can work his escape again. So he's going to sit up, push my foot off his hip, butt scoop over. I'm already finding that leg, and then I find the Achilles lock. Just butt scoop towards me. So we're here. Keep going. So now from that position, he's going to do it again. He pushes the foot off. I find the other leg. As he comes over, I'm switching to the single leg X control. Okay, and now from here, if I want to make the transition to the saddle, okay, but as I come up and try to find this secondary leg, Keane's already sitting up straight. He butt scoops back and he pulls his left knee back towards him. Now I've lost, this is what we talk about the knee line. I want my knee over his knee or above it. Once my knee comes below it, yes, there's a chance I can make a grip under the knee and pull myself back in again. Now I've got it back again. But this can become a battle. So we want this ability of not fighting for something. If I find he's a butt scoop, I haven't pinched my knees and I haven't been doing the control concepts that we talked about, the minute he pulls his knee back, this one, and brings it towards his chest, and I've lost that knee line, I'm already coming up into combat base. And now I'm switching to single leg X again. Let's just take it more into the middle. So those two transitions, you're here, Kieran. Those two transitions for when he pushes on your foot to try and remove your single leg X, you're on your butt. And when you lose the knee line when you're playing the saddle position. So we just put it into a drill. So I'm playing single leg X control. Keane removes my foot, butt scoops over. And the second his hand goes in my foot, I'm already thinking of not doing the Achilles. I find the secondary leg. He butt scoops over. I immediately switch to single leg X on this leg, drag it across, switch to the saddle. But in the process of finding the secondary leg, Keane sits up, hands behind him, he butt scoops back and pulls his left knee back. Yep, put your knee back, and I have lost this knee line. So keeping control of the secondary leg, I'm coming up into combat base. And it works really well switching from attacking the primary leg to the secondary leg, because he's pulled that knee out, it's kind of not in the way anymore. And now I can fill that space and get into my single leg X position. So now again, he pushes down, removes my foot. I'm already finding that secondary leg. The minute he butt scoops over, I'm switching to the single leg X on this leg. And we can continue that same drill. Or I can make the transition to the saddle here. In the process of me finding the secondary leg and looking to wrap, which we covered last time with Lewis, Keane's defense is to remove his knee line. So he's just butt scooping back again. So from that position, I'm still coming up into combat base. Then I fill that space and we're back into single leg X. Okay? So we want that ability to be able to switch seamlessly from single leg X, front ashy, to the saddle, which is cross ashy, and then from the saddle back to single leg X, and also have the ability of switching legs. When I attack one leg and he defends it, I can immediately control it and switch to the other legs, because we want to get our opponents constantly just under pressure from when I'm attacking his legs.